They seek him here. They seek him there. Those Frenchies seek him everywhere. Is he in heaven or is he in hell? The Dame Delusive, Pimpernel. Those words by the Baroness Orsi occurred in her book, The Scarlet Pimpernel, in which she describes a British aristocrat helping to rescue aristocrats from France during the French Revolution, referred to as the Terror. It shows a preoccupation with where our souls are going to go. Very much like a recent controversy in the United Kingdom, where a well-meaning teacher misspoke in her religion class at a private school in Scotland and responded to the question, where is the Princess Diana's soul? And the teacher said, in hell. Of course, the resulting ripples went all the way down to Westminster, out to Canterbury. Then finally, the Archbishop had to intervene himself and clarify that nobody knows what happens to an individual soul except God. The church never says who is in hell. But there is that preoccupation that has occurred with humanity since the times before the pyramids. What happens after this life? And Jesus answers that today. Don't be so preoccupied with others, but be concerned about yourself and what it's going to take for you to attain heaven. Of course, those of you that have been coming to Holy Angels for a long period of time know that repeatedly I preach on the same theme, that four-letter word that's going to help us all get to heaven. And that word is?
Love.
Thank you. Love. Christ's great commandment to us is that we love God first above all things in our lives, and then our neighbors as ourselves. If we follow that commandment of love, then we have taken the first steps toward our own salvation. So how do we ensure that? Well, in order to ensure it, we have to be disciplined in our lives. We've already heard from the first reading that people are going to come from the east, the west, the north, and the south. Isaiah is referencing something that we know to be true, that God's word permeates this planet. And it doesn't matter whether we're male, female, black, white, Chinese, French, Guianan, it doesn't matter who or what we are. The gift of faith is made to all of us. And all of us can be gathered around God's throne one day in heaven. But to get there, we have to be disciplined. Now, discipline is an interesting word, because when we hear it, even as Paul writes about it in Hebrews today, it sounds like we're spanking the child. But discipline, in fact, means self-control. So if we are in control of ourselves, we are disciplined. So therefore, we're supposed to think before we act. We're supposed to be able to control our mouths, our actions. We're not supposed to be out there cursing people, doing violence to people, having unwarranted sex all over the place, using drugs that are going to harm our body. We are supposed to be disciplined. We are supposed to be in control. Unfortunately, we're humans. And in our humanity, we sometimes fail in this. And as a result, we say that we sin. Now, sin is an interesting little word. Anybody know what it means?
That's failure.
Okay, failure. Here's where it comes from. It comes from archery. You pull that bow back and you let fly the arrow, and if it doesn't hit the mark, sin. You fell short of the mark. You're traveling to it, but you didn't quite hit where you were going. So our sin is very much individual to each one of us, because each one of us at times fails to live up to what God's asking us to do. So the point of the scriptures today is not to be overly concerned with everybody else, but be concerned about yourself for a bit here. To examine our own life, to see where we fall short of the mark, and then work through the grace of Christ to do a better job, to hit that target. As we go about this week, my prayer for you is that you hit your targets, whatever they happen to be. And that one day that we may all rejoice, as Isaiah said, before the throne of God, with all those that come from the east, the west, the north, and the south.